Hi, I'm going to show you how to offset text in Inkscape, and this is a new method that's a little bit easier to use than some of the methods we've been using, so I'm excited to show it to you. I'm going to use my favorite tool in Inkscape, which is the Paint Bucket tool, and I've started out just typing in some text. This is milkshake font, and then I'm going to grab my Paint Bucket tool, which is down here in the lower left. I'm going to check the defaults. I'm going to make sure this is filled by visible colors, threshold at 15, and close gaps at none, and then we're going to set our settings here. I want to change the units from inches to points. A couple reasons for that. One is that inches and millimeters don't work. I know that points work and pixels work, so you want to choose one of those. Points is a unit that we can convert to inches because 72 points is equal to an inch. So for instance, if we want a half-inch margin, we can use 36 points. If we want a quarter-inch margin, we can use 18 points. If we want an eighth-inch margin, we can use 9 points because 72 divided by 8 is 9. But usually we're just going to eyeball it and we don't have to worry about doing any math. So I'm going to set this for our purposes. I'm going to set this to 18 to start with. And I'm going to click anywhere inside the text on one of the letters. And you will see that it makes an offset. And this distance is 18 points or 1/4 of an inch. I think that's a little bit wider than I wanted, so I'm going to just Control Z to undo that. And I'm going to change this down to, say, 12. And click again. I like that better. So it's just trial and error to get what you want, but you'll notice we have the T sticking out over here because it isn't connected. The rest of this font, because it's a script, is connected. It all works in one click, and this is going to work a little bit better with script fonts just because it's easier to see how it looks together. But all we need to do to connect up the T is hold down the Shift key and click on it, and you'll see that it welds itself right in and gives a perfect 12-point border around our text. Now sometimes you have these little extra spots where you wasn't quite enough big enough for an opening. So all we're going to do there is double click this to enter the node modes, drag around those and delete them. And then we're good to go. We've got our nice solid margin there. Now I'm going to fill this with a color by just clicking on a color swatch. And if I want to get rid of that pink outline, which I just use for convenience when I'm doing this technique so I can easily visualize, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click on the X. And then I'm going to send that to the back so we can see what that margin looks like. And now if we want, we can make another one. And it'll again make this perfect 12 points. So we can do the same thing with that one. We can change it to another color and get rid of our outline and send it to the back. And now we have our double outline, and we are almost ready to go, except that we need to remember that this inside is still text. Again, you want to remember to look at the info bar down at the bottom here. This is the greatest thing about Inkscape. It tells you what's going on, and it tells us that this is still text. So what I want to do is change this to a path, but I also want to weld it at the same time. So I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Path Union, and you'll see that that changes to a path. And then you can check these other two outlines and see that they are paths. And the thing that's really nice about this is that I discovered that when you use this method, you get a lot fewer nodes than the other method, which is really important for Cricut Design Space. And the last thing we can do to check that this is ready to go is we can look at our outline view. So you want to go to View, Display Mode, Outline, and that'll show you basically what the cut lines are going to look like. So we can go back to normal, and Now when we save this as an SVG and we import this into Cricut Design Space, it will show up with 3 layers, a black layer, a light blue layer, and a dark blue layer that you can cut separately, and very easy to do. Like I said, that it's simpler, not only simpler in steps, but it gives you a simpler outline with fewer nodes, and it also gives you a way to use an exact dimension on your width, so that if you need an exact border of a 1/4 inch or whatever, you can do that by using points. That's something we're not able to do with the other methods in Inkscape. So this method has a lot of advantages, and I think it's a lot simpler, and I hope you'll enjoy using it. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like it and subscribe to my channel.